Welcome to our meeting of December 9th, 2025. Madam Clerk, could we have the roll call, please?
Yes, good morning. Supervisor District 1, Jesus Eduardo Escobar.
Good morning.
Supervisor District 2, Martha Cardenas Singh.
Good morning, present.
Supervisor District 3, Peggy Price.
Present.
Supervisor District 4, Ryan Elliott Kelly. And Supervisor District 5, Chairman John Hawk.
Here. Okay, item 2, consideration of urgency items to be added to closed.
Chair Hawk, I have no urgency items to add.
Okay. Do we have closed session public comment?
Chair, I have no comments.
All right. Okay, if not, we'll convene to closed session. Thank you all.
Can we get a motion, please?
Yeah. Motion by Supervisor Escobar, second by Supervisor Price. Please vote. Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, so we will call the meeting to order. Thank you all for coming today, December 9th, 2025. We will now open the meeting. We'll begin with our invocation by Mr. Marty Ellett and Pledge of Allegiance by Peggy Price. Mr. Ellett, thank you.
Just join me in prayer, please. Our Father, we thank you again for your kindness towards us. We thank you, Father, for this is the best country in the world. We thank you for that. We pray for help, Father, in appreciating that more and more and being grateful and thankful to you. We thank you for this Imperial County and for our cities, for all that we have here, the relative peace and prosperity and stability that we live in. Help us, we pray now, to make wise decisions, to sort out fact and fiction, to be able to make good decisions for the county, for the people of the county, and going forward from here. Bless, I pray, this meeting, the folks that are here, this board. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Okay.
Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, at this time, we will begin with public comment. Let me say this, first of all, that on our agenda today, okay, Cynthia, is the microphone on? Yes.
Yes, it is.
Can you hear now? Is it better? Not very good. Okay. Today's meeting is on the agenda. We have Big Rock, and we're going to look at Big Rock and a moratorium in our public forum, okay? Our public hearing. So we are not talking about the data center, and I know that many of you are concerned about the data center. Okay.
For everything is up for grabs. It's right there on your screen.
Okay, so that's my issue today. We are going to discuss everything about Big Rock. We are going to have a 30-minute public comment period, and that will probably be around 9 speakers. Okay, at the end, at the close of the meeting, at the close of the hearing, we can open it up again if you would like to have public comment. We are going to close the public comment at about 1:35, 1:40, okay? So as long as everybody understands that. All right, so in public comment, when addressing the board, state your name for the record. Prior to providing your comments, please address the board as a whole through the chairman. Individuals will be given 3 minutes. We're going to be strict about the 3 minutes because there are a number of speakers. Groups or topics will be given a maximum of 15 minutes. Public comments will be limited to a maximum of 30 minutes. If additional time is required for public comments, they will be heard at the end of the meeting. Okay? So at this time, Madam Chairman, Madam Clerk, excuse me.
Yes, Chair. First speaker is Mr. Peter Rodriguez.
Good afternoon, members of the board and audience. My public comment is going to start with John 8:32. You should know the truth, and the truth will set you free. I'm talking about the data center, even though you said not to, because the public needs to know. We were caught off guard, unfortunately. But here's my deal with this. I'm not against a business, but this board has had a history of failure. Club Lulu, the dairy, the cheese farm out there, the lady took the equipment and left. Hemp, you have a manufacturing plant in Brawley that was not a success. The only thing that's been successful is actually being Brawley Beef, Brandt family. And I give credit because I love their product. But you're not being successful in lithium. So this direction of management and the board, before some of you, of course, you're off the hook on that one. But Ryan, and you've been the quarterback, and you have failed. Failures, and this one may have an ability to be successful, but you have it in the wrong territory. And it should be placed out of sight, out of mind. Not where people are there, they're living there with schools, and I'm standing for the families, the children and the grandchildren, the people that invested in their homes there. Yeah, I'm going to put it up here, and I don't care if you guys like it or not. It is time for us as a community to stand tall, not back down, not bend our knees, because we want it done correctly. And my last comment, because I got to give time for the others, is because I did some homework about, you want a data center? Yeah, sure. But you got to sign a non-disclosure. My question is, did this board, before this meeting or prior to this discussion, sign an NDA with the data center people? Because the public has a right to know. This is not the way to do business. The right way to do business is to have an open forum and to be honest. And if you can't be honest, and look at me, Ryan, I'm talking. Don't put your head down. Accept the responsibility and accountability for leadership. Okay? I could be having lunch, but no. I can sacrifice lunch a little bit. I can have it later. But this is the time for our community to come together, united, to do the right thing for our valley. I don't want to be like Mississippi, Alabama, Minnesota, where those data centers are, and the people are not too happy. The residents have still got to live in those little towns, like they call us, little underprivileged communities. I'm an educated man, and I know what I'm talking about, and it's up for you to make the right decision, and don't hide from it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I will be calling 2 speakers at a time. You guys can take each a microphone. The first speaker will be Cristina Salgado and Tom DeBose.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Thank you. Okay. Well, hello. My name is Christian Salgado. I'm a resident of the city of Calexico, and I have a lot of friends and family that live in the Victoria and Aiden subdivision where the data center is being proposed. This is why, like many here, I need to take the time off of my work. I took a vacation day today to be present at this meeting. It is completely unacceptable how our county elected officials have handled this situation in an effort to move forward an egregious project for a few opportunistic individuals. Residents are fully aware of the harmful sprawls of data centers across the United States, facilities that consume enormous amounts of water, energy, while offering little to no benefits to the communities where they are built. No small amount of money directed to a nonprofit or some framed community benefit will outweigh the short-term and long-term impacts of a 330 megawatt data center, where this currently proposal is just, where it's at. The current issue is a federal and state and policy issue, and it's important that that's a rapidly expanded industry. The most vulnerable, hardworking families are the ones that are being caught in the crossfire. So I urge the board to recognize the seriousness of these consequences and act in the interest of the people who elected you. So let me get to my actual point. So here I am today to formally request the Imperial County Board of Supervisors to hold a special meeting, not this, at a time where residents can easily attend and consider a vote on the proposed data center. You all should vote. We believe this meeting should take place before the Planning Commission meeting. It's not fair it's being passed down to those individuals on that board on December the 18th. In addition, I urge the board to consider a zoning reforming. We will be here for those meetings, requiring data centers to not be approved by a case-by-case basis with public hearings rather than this granted by right approval that allows development without minimal oversight. I am also asking the board to implement a memorandum of data center development freezing build-outs of these projects, all in the county territory, especially for the most impactful ones, until protective policies are in place at the county level. We expect our elected officials to be responsible for the concerns of these constituents, especially, but Peggy, you're District 3, the community that will bear the direct consequence of these projects. So we continue, with this board that you stand and serve the individuals that elected you. Thank you for your time.
Good afternoon, board members, Mr. Chairman. Tom DeBose, DeBose Design Group. My client is the applicant for the data center. Data center that is badly needed in a time when this county has lost a tremendous amount of jobs with speckled sugar. A time when things are frozen at our border with the opportunities that we hope to have gained with the Gateway of the Americas and the new nearshoring activity that's just not happening today. And the time when water on the Colorado River is becoming an issue to where we're fearful of what might happen, which is why my client, this project, has offered to both the City of El Centro and the City of Imperial at their expense, the project's expense, to install equipment that will reuse that water that is currently being released into the IID drain. 6 times more than it actually needs to use, creating not only a new revenue stream for the cities, but an ability to have that covered by this project, as opposed to later having the ratepayers of those communities pay for those improvements when the state ultimately comes in and requires it. The jobs here are over the top. The financial windfall for all involved is over the top. The school district of Imperial Unified is going to be a big winner because those school bonds that were voted on and rates that were created no way anticipated what is about to happen with this $10 billion investment. I will state for the record that my client has not ever asked nor has required anybody to sign a non-disclosure agreement. So you could eliminate that concern. My overall concern as a lifelong resident of Imperial County and a business owner struggling to survive, I don't look for my income to come from anywhere else but honest work, creating hopefully jobs and creating benefit locally within the community. We need to survive, and we need an opportunity to survive, an opportunity that's being held up in Lithium Valley, projects up in the Lithium Valley, and whenever it's convenient for somebody to challenge. We need this golden opportunity. And I could tell you that forever, energy managers at the IID have consistently said, bring us load. Because we have the potential of creating renewable energy here, but nothing to serve. Nowhere to send it because we don't have the transmission. For the first time in our history, we can create load here so that the energy produced here can stay here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. DeBose. We're going to ask you to please hold your comments,
Next
sir.
speaker is Mr. Nick Gumbleton and Francisco Leal.
Good afternoon, Board. My name is Nick Gumbleton. I'm a representative of LIUNA Labor's Local 1184. I want to speak on the benefits of this data center will bring to the Imperial County community. I represent over thousands of members who live in this area, and this is their time to go to work. The developer already has an agreement with LIUNA, which means good paying jobs that will provide to our members that reside here. We desperately need jobs in Imperial County. Many of our projects, including renewable energy projects, keep getting shut down or sent back to court, which we're all aware of. Some of my members haven't worked for over 2 years, and it's getting out of control. We believe this project will streamline these other renewable energy projects and get Imperial's grid to the capacity that exceeds what we have today. This data center opens up the door to Imperial County to be the economic growth that we need, and it's always talked about. It will create thousands of jobs for construction as well as permanent jobs for the residents of Imperial County. Our members won't have to drive to Riverside County or San Diego to put food on our tables. They'll be able to work in their backyard and be proud of what they build. And most importantly, it keeps families together, allowing people to not have to move out of this county to find work. We hope that we can move forward with this project that already has a commitment with LIUNA, and we can continue to build America. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, Chair and Supervisors. My name is Francisco, and I stand here as a resident, a neighbor, and a father. Someone who's genuinely heartbroken that our community has been left in the dark while billion-dollar corporations move quietly toward transforming our neighborhoods forever. Since November 26, families have been learning piece by piece and never from this board that a massive data center and a best facility is being pushed forward right next to our homes, our schools, and even a major fuel storage site. And yet, there has still been no official statement, no workshop, no community meeting, and not even a single agenda item today. We only know what we know thanks to the City of Imperial, who stepped up because they understood that transparency is not optional when people's lives and homes are at stake. This project is being piecemealed, broken into smaller parts instead of evaluating this as the massive industrial complex that it truly is. And a grading permit that has already been issued, while critical assessments on power, water, wastewater, environmental risk, public safety, and national security are still incomplete. And I have to ask, why approve a grading unless someone has already decided that this project will be approved no matter what? What is the point of the future studies if the ground is already being prepared? We also keep hearing that the claim that the project will use reclaimed water, not clean water. But there are no agreements, no binding documents, nothing that guarantees this. Until those agreements exist and are public, it is just a talking point. And if reclaimed water doesn't materialize, farmers, residents, and the entire valley could end up competing for the same finite water resources. Amen. We are also told that the initial infrastructure investment, bringing power lines, water, sewer, roads, whatever that's needed, will be covered by the project owner. Maybe that's true, but after that, who's going to pay for the long-term maintenance, upgrades, and operational strain on those systems? Will the billion-dollar company or us, the residents, the ratepayers, through higher costs and more pressure on already stretched public services? We cannot ignore that across the county, data centers, data centers and best sites have experienced fires, explosions, toxic smokes, and evacuations, harmful incidents in communities that were told everything was safe. This location also raises national security concerns. Placing a privately controlled, data-intensive, power-heavy industrial facility directly beside the CVP El Centro Sector's headquarters demands federal-level review. Ownership of these facilities can be refinanced, recapitalized, or sold, including to foreign entities, making this exactly the type of scenario overseen by the CFIUS, which is the county. Why is the county not demanding such level of scrutiny? Now, I want to address some of the groups who may not be able to speak today, but...
Mr. Leal, you have reached your 3 minutes.
Francisco, go.
Next two speakers, Marjorie Marquez and Carl Stills. Can you please turn on your microphone? Thank you.
Hello, Board. My name is Marjorie Marquez. I'm a citizen of the city of Imperial, and I'm here to speak on the data center. I was recently made aware, thanks to the City of Imperial's letter that went out to its residents, and I'm concerned about this data center and the lack of transparency as a citizen that we have in it. I implore the Board to pause all of the continued data center development, so that way the community can ask questions in a special meeting, so we can ask questions, gain the knowledge that we need in order to feel comfortable with this type of data center in our cities. So again, I please implore you to pause all developments when it comes to the data center, so that way we can be informed as citizens and have the transparency we require and need from our officials. Thank you.
If we can have Robert Powell come to the microphone, please.
Good afternoon. I'm Carl Stills. I'm a retired IID employee. Retired as the energy manager there after 42 years, and went on and worked in the renewable firm here with 8 Minute Solar Energy as a vice president for 8 years. Is that better? I'll bend down some. Okay. Just want to make a statement on the proposed data center. Okay, is that better? Can you hear me? The proposed data center in Imperial Valley is fully compliant with.
Give me just a minute.
I don't think it'll take 3 minutes, but the proposed. Is that better? The proposed data center in Imperial Valley is fully compliant with zoning and regulatory requirements operating within industrial land designated for such use. It is taking on all infrastructure costs, including water, power, and noise mitigation, without burdening the community. By using reclaimed water, excess renewable energy, battery backups, and state-of-the-art design, the project ensures environmental responsibility with minimal impact. Generators will serve only as emergency backups, eliminating noise concerns simply because they won't be running. Beyond compliance, the data center is investing in workforce development through partnerships with local colleges, creating high-tech job opportunities to replace those lost with the closure of Spreckle Sugars and the emergence of Lithium Valley, things like that have been hung up. The project will generate new tax revenues and financial contributions to the county, local communities, and Imperial Irrigation District, ensuring broad benefits across the region. The project represents a win-win. The company assumes the risk and the costs, while Imperial Valley gains economic growth, modern infrastructure, expanded employment, and a stronger future for its families. And I got to say this because my daughter lives in Phoenix, but for years we've worked on economic development here because there are only so many limited jobs that are here. And kids go away to college and there are no jobs to bring them back, so they move. You know, we've got to do things here to create jobs here so the families can come back together and have places for the kids to grow up. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Steels. Robert?
Good afternoon, Board. My name is Robert Powell. I'm a resident of Imperial at 277 West La Paz Drive. I'm also here to talk to you about the data center, and my concern is not really for the huge water or power requirements for the project, nor is it about the noise. My understanding that the power requirement for this project is in the neighborhood of 330 megawatts, which is roughly equals the requirement for over 300,000 households. Because these data centers cannot have the power go out on them, the project will have a very large generator component. generators are not only to be fired up in times of power outage, but generators are also required, something Mr. Stills neglected to tell you, that these generators are required by permit to be tested. I don't know about natural gas generators, but diesel generators generally need to be tested once a month. The proponent's going to respond that these generators are going to be fired by natural gas, but that will still constitute a significant amount of fossil fuel emission into the air around our neighborhoods. Honestly, I'm not opposed to the project. I think we do need this industry to come into the valley, but the siting is what I'm concerned about. We have a large amount of open land in Imperial County. I'm sure that there's open land that has the available transmission and natural gas infrastructure needed for this kind of project. But to site it right next to one of our neighborhoods is really, it's hard to understand. And I want to add, there's also a school nearby this, and there's another school planned. Now, I saw Mr. DeBose's comments in a local newspaper recently, and it was all about how the residents of the area were advised that this area has been zoned for industry for some time. There was no comment about mitigation of the impacts to the residents in that article, and it's hard not to find that offensive. Basically, his statement in the paper was, let the residents eat cake. Now, John, I've known you a long time. When I found out you were running for the board, I let everybody know what a high man of integrity you are. I still feel that way. I have all the confidence in you that you'll do the right thing. Ms. Price, I appreciate all the time that you've given me, and as one of your constituents, I hope that you will also do the right thing. But again, it's not about the data center itself. It's about where it's planned to be sited. So thank you all very much, and appreciate your time.
Next speakers is Eddie Harmon and Victor Sasueta.
Is that the time?
Edie Harmon, and I've lived outside of Ocotillo for 48 years and spent most of my life in Imperial County. What? Edie Harmon, and I've lived outside of Ocotillo for 48 years and spent most of the time in Imperial County doing research on various water issues, mostly groundwater issues. I've been looking at information on data centers, and I can't find any place in the U.S., any city or jurisdiction that is pleased with data centers and the incredible impact that they have on groundwater resources or electrical requirements. Imperial County would seem to me like the worst place of all to choose for a data center because of the tremendous amount of heat and cooling requirements for a data center. Imperial County is recognized as being pretty warm in the summer. I mean, I've seen temperatures at my house at 120. If San Jose is worried about the amount of water and electricity for a data center in an environment that's much cooler and has better resources, I don't understand the concern for Imperial County, other than in my years of being here, I have seen the county be targeted for a number of projects that were not considered desirable by other jurisdictions. Is it because they think we're gullible or that we don't know what's going on? And to see that there was a categorical exemption for grading suggests that a decision has already been made. Any project of this size should require a comprehensive CEQA evaluation looking at impacts to water, air, and electricity. And when I hear about using reclaimed water, that means that's water that's not going somewhere else. And I know water from the canals and water that's conserved by agriculture is water that's not reaching the Salton Sea. And this project may have the potential to increase the rate at which the Salton Sea is drying up in times of climate change. And I know IID is already importing power. If there's more demands for power use, it means more impacts to IID. And the question is, if a project fails, who's left with the costs of maintaining or paying for all of the things that were promised. The board years ago approved a project for which the applicant hadn't even paid for an EIR and didn't pay the property taxes. And obviously when the county was sued, the project applicant went away. But it was a terrible loss of money and resources that the county put in for that project, which was a proposed sort of mercenary training facility next to the community of Ocotillo. It would have destroyed the community. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Victor Sassueta. I live at 1603 Farmer Drive in El Centro. I was raised on El Dorado Road back when it was country. We had canal water, we had septic tanks, and we had leach lines. My family home is still there. My mother lives there. We're half a mile away from this project, and it's going to impact her environment. Not only that, I think it was a mistake for the planning department to give ministerial approval to this project rather than a discretionary approval. Discretionary would have involved a CEQA and an EIR, and we would have had public input from those residents that surround this 950,000 square foot facility. That includes Victoria Homes, which I walked around the other day. A lot of people were totally unaware that this project is coming to their community. The new school is less than half a mile away from this project. And if you are not aware, there was a major fire at a lithium plant in Moss Landing that polluted all the agricultural land in that area and endangered the endangered species that live in that area. So I just would like the board to reconsider, have the planning department reverse their decision to make this a ministerial approval and make it a discretionary approval so that the public and the residents in the Victoria Homes can have a voice in this project that's going to impact the quality of their lives. There's people who have two-story homes that are going to look directly into that facility. So regardless of the mitigations that they promised to make, we all know that a lot of times those mitigations are not covered, are not carried forward. And so I just wanted to express my opposition to this, and I hope the board reconsiders the planning department decision, if that is possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary.
Chairman, this will be our last speaker for the first 30 minutes of public comment. Samuel Greatscourt.
No. We've got to go through this. Okay.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Sorry, I got to crouch over this thing, but I'm a homeowner, and I'm about 900 feet from the property line. And honestly, the thing that incensed me the most is that the way that I was notified was right before holidays, and I had to go home. Sorry. I had to go home, and I have a flyer from the city of Imperial letting me know about this giant data center. No one else talked to me. You guys didn't, the county didn't, this new company didn't, who apparently really cares for the citizens. There was no communication with us, and that is a problem because I have to do a bunch of research, and I'm scared because I have a house. I don't know what it's going to do to my property value. I don't know what it's going to do to my health. And you have a bunch of communities over in Virginia that are dealing with a bunch of problems, and to act like that's not true is just false. And I'm terrified of the noise because I don't want constant noise all the time. I had to come to this meeting to see, okay, there's going to be a mason wall. It's going to be 100 feet from there. Do I know that that's actually going to prevent it? Is it going to meet the ordinance? I'm not sure. And I just want to make sure it's not going to ruin my house or my life or my girlfriend's life or a quality of living. And instead, what I had to do is I had to go to the Desert Review article where Dubois talked about this. And he basically said, and you can double check this, I'm not trying to misquote him, they deal with the helicopter noise, they can deal with this noise. And that is extremely disheartening because that does not happen very often. And this is constant. And so I know we've grown a lot. I know we got some problems. I always thought the valley had small town values. And to me, small town values is not just about what's legal, it's about what's right. And this was not the right way to do this. So please just keep in mind the community near there, all the constituents and hard workers there. Keep us on board. And if we really need this, let's make sure that it is good and it's not going to ruin anyone's lives over there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Cord. At this time, we have completed 30 minutes of the public comment, and we have a public hearing that begins at 2 p.m. Therefore, we will go ahead with the rest of our meeting, and we will have our public hearing at 2 p.m. So we will skip item 8, board member reports and announcements. We'll skip that, board, and go to discussion number 9. Item 9, discussion of the agenda. Are there items to be pulled from the action discussion consent?
None, Chairman.
Okay. B, are there urgency items to be added?
None, Chairman.
Okay, I need a motion for the approval of the order of the agenda. We have a motion by Supervisor Price and a second by Supervisor Kelly. Please vote. Okay, motion carries. Item 10, approval of the consent calendar.
Chairman, I do have a request for a public comment on item 39 by Ms. Ruth Duarte. Ms. Duarte, if you can come up to make a comment.
Good afternoon, board members, community, and staff. My name is Ruth Duarte. I'm business agent for Teamsters Local 542 for clerical, technical, craft labor, and trades. And I just want to make a comment in regards to data center. I'm against it because there is really no official information about it. But secondly, on the item 39, I am kind of disappointed that there is an extension for the Gallagher study to February, being that I believe, in my opinion, is that they should have made a presentation to what they have done already. It's been over 2 years, and then ask for the extension. I think that would have been more appropriate. As you know, we have in negotiations the language about the compensation study, so it is very, very important for my members not to kick the can down the road for months and months. Thinking about it, I just want to say that when we were in committee for the salary and comp, Gallagher was not the one selected. They were not even top 3. We still selected them. Why? Because after they were approved, we were notified that they were bought to Gallagher. So we didn't have faith in them then. We don't have faith in them now. I would suggest and recommend that they do a presentation, whether it's at a board meeting or specifically for our committee, at the Salary and Comp Committee, and make a presentation of how far along they are. And another thing is the implementation process. I need clarification on the implementation process, if they're going to be recommending how to implement or when to implement. So anyways, I wanted to talk about it because you guys are going to be approving it under consent. And actually, I wanted some dialogue with you guys, but I know you're not going to answer any questions, so I had to make it public. Thank you.
Chairman, if I may, I also need to read item 14 on the record. Second reading by title only, waive full reading amending County of Imperial Ordinance 3.12180 relating to compensation of the Board of Supervisors, and authorize the county executive officer to take the necessary actions to implement the action.
Okay. Okay, do we need approval of item 10?
Yes, Chairman.
Okay.
Ms. Cynthia, may I ask a question, please? So for item 39, can it be pulled at this time, and then with direction that we have some type of a presentation, or can that still be done?
So the consent calendar has already been set.
Okay.
The agenda's already been set by vote, but certainly direction can be given.
Can we give direction? So can direction be given to staff? Maybe we can give some type of a update or a report on the Gallagher study before February?
Need a motion.
Noted, Supervisor. Thank you.
All right, we have a motion by Supervisor Price and a second by myself. Please vote. And motion carries. Item 11, approval of the consent budget calendar. Motion by Supervisor Escobar, second by Supervisor Price. Please vote. And motion carries. Item 12, approval of the official proceedings for November 25th, 2025. Motion by Supervisor Escobar and a second by Supervisor Cardenas Singh. Please vote.
I'm sorry, District 3.
Okay.
5-0. Right?
Okay, motion carries. At this time, item 13, we will hold department announcements till the end of the meeting, if we could do that. And we will begin our action calendar. We'll go to item 14, discussion action regarding the following items as requested by Dr. Kathleen Lane.
And to present this item, we'll call on Deputy County Executive Officer Barry Bean.
Good afternoon, Chairman, Supervisors, and members of the public. Today we will be reviewing solar and battery storage on land zoned ag. As all of you know, ag has historically played a significant role in our community. In fact, it's a cornerstone of both providing jobs as well as not only providing food for our community, but for communities across the country and in some cases around the world. Renewable energy also plays a significant role in our region. We are the second largest renewable energy producer by county in the state of California, and we contribute a significant amount of the clean energy goals that the state of California has set for us. Equally important are the economic development goals for our region to change the trajectory of being historically one of the most impoverished and also unemployed areas in Imperial County, with a poverty rate of 21% and an unemployment rate of over 17%. Today's presentation will review the recommendation for a temporary cap on solar on ag land. While a study can be conducted to identify a balance between our agriculture priorities, our renewable energy, and our economic development priorities. As you can see from the details that are on the screen in front of you, when we look at ag land in Imperial County, the numbers vary quite a bit from different agencies and from different reports. As an example, the 2024 Imperial Irrigation District Total Acres of Crops report says that there are 433,506 acres of ag land. The 2024 Imperial County Ag Department report shows total harvested acres in Imperial County as 526,967 acres, although this may include multiple cuttings, meaning that some of the acres could be double or in some cases even triple counted. The Imperial County land zoned as agriculture is 538,326 acres. Our operational or approved solar battery on land zoned agriculture is 24,166 acres. These are projects that have already been approved or are operational. And solar battery projects and entitlement process on land zoned ag. And this includes all projects that have started the process with our planning and permitting department, is 3,366 acres, but to clarify, these projects are not projects that have been approved to date. If you add together our operational and our approved with those that are in entitlement, that brings a total of 27,532 acres, which is 5.114% of the solar battery on land zone agriculture. It's recommended that the board consider a temporary cap of 7% for solar on ag. This temporary cap and moratorium is proposed for 2 years, and it would limit the conversion of agricultural land for solar and/or battery storage development to not exceed 7% of total agricultural acreage in Imperial County. This temporary cap would allow the county time to conduct a comprehensive study of agricultural land use, renewable energy development, and associated water and economic impacts, and return to the board within 12 months with findings and policy recommendations. It is also recommended that the county collaborate with the Imperial Irrigation District and the Farm Bureau on this study for their input. As I've mentioned, different agencies in Imperial County have different numbers as it pertains to agricultural land. Some agencies base these numbers on the land that is actually growing or producing crops versus the county that currently looks at all land zoned as ag, which means even land that does not have a water card or land that is not producing any agriculture crops or has not for the last 10, 15, in some cases maybe even 20 years, may still be considered ag land because it is zoned ag land. Coordination is required with ag production and cultivation to adjust active farmland as well as to define ag land parameters and considerations. So staff is recommending revisiting the definition of agriculture land for the purposes of this study for the potential cap and moratorium. The review would consider whether agricultural land should be defined solely by zoning designation, by active use, such as land currently in production or land that has been farmed within a defined amount of years, or other factors to be determined by the study. It's important to note that this proposed cap is not a final policy determination. It's an interim action designed to provide time for a comprehensive, data-driven review process. And I'd like to share some of the CEQA statutes that are associated with this recommended study. In compliance with CEQA, the goal is to preserve the status quo while the effects of this type of land conversion or study are considered. To determine that the status quo, we take a closer look at the rate of solar development on ag land. These developments have occurred between 2011 and 2025. Over those 14 years, the average conversion of ag land to solar was 0.365% per year. Therefore, an allowance of an additional 1.886% over the next 2 years, which is the difference between the proposed 7% and the existing 5.14%, is not anticipated to impact solar development on land zoned agriculture. The CEQA allowances for this study include CEQA statutory exemption for feasibility planning studies and guidelines section 15262, information collection and guidelines section 15306, and actions by regulatory agencies for the protection of the environment and guidelines section 15308. If the 7% cap and moratorium is approved, this cap would allow the possibility of an additional 1.886% of solar on ag land, but it does not in any way pre-approve or guarantee those developments would occur. Any of those projects or proposed projects would still go through the standard permitting process for consideration. At this time, the recommended actions that I've reviewed with you regarding solar on ag zone land are items A, B, C, D, and E that are on your agenda. On the screen, you see them as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The first one is in regards to adopting a temporary cap and moratorium for 2 years, limiting the conversion of agriculture land for solar and/or battery energy development to no more than 7% of total agriculture acreage in Imperial County. The second one is to direct county staff to initiate a comprehensive study of agriculture land use, renewable energy development trends, and associated water and economic impacts, and to return to the board within 12 months with findings and policy recommendations.
The third one is to invite the Imperial Irrigation District and the Imperial County Farm Bureau to collaborate as formal partners in this study and participate in the evaluation of whether a permanent cap based on an appropriate percentage of agriculture acreage and moratorium is warranted. The fourth one is to direct county staff to review and propose refinements to the definition of agriculture land for purposes of the study and the cap and moratorium, including but not limited to whether agriculture land should be defined solely by zoning designation or defined based on whether land is currently in agriculture production or has been actively farmed within a specified number of years. And the last one is to approve a resolution of the Imperial County Board of Supervisors establishing a temporary cap and moratorium on the conversion of agriculture land for solar and/or battery energy development and directing staff to conduct a study and develop implementation guidelines. Number 5 is a resolution that includes all 4 of the previous items. I'd be happy to answer any questions by the board.
Chairman, we do have 2 speakers. First speaker is Mr. Peter Rodriguez.
My public comment on this topic is, well, it's nice to have it all of a sudden. We're concerned about ag land, where several months ago, Director Kelly was saying ag is no longer king. The lithium was. The lithium's still buried, for your information. It's in the dirt, in the ground. Nothing's been produced. You have a tax or a product that's not even in your hand or my hand. It's a big dream. But let's not do one on data centers. Isn't that interesting? Do it on farmland. But let's forget about the land regarding data centers. And that's my comment. Be fair, be honest, be open, and don't play hide and seek anymore. Thank you.
Next speaker, Danny Machine. Sir, if you can turn on your microphone, please. Right.
They knew it was coming, they turned it off. Good afternoon, board. Seems like in the past we tried doing a moratorium. I understand the study. It took us about 10, 12 years for us to get 5% of the land, of the ag land. There's still plenty of land left over there. I don't see why do we need to put a moratorium and discourage all the companies that are already suffering from the cuts on the subsidies and all the other stuff, and tariffs coming in. So, and I can tell you because a lot of my members haven't been able to work here in Imperial County because of all of that. I understand doing a study. I say let's go forward with the study, but I don't think we need a moratorium on it and discourage all the developers to come in and look at Imperial County. Out of all the people, Brian is the only one here when that happened years back. And it kind of wasn't a very pleasant with a lot of the developers. I think we can move forward and do our study, but let's keep the moratorium out. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. McCain. Okay, do we have any discussion, any further discussion or questions from the board? I believe, yes. There's no other speakers. Yes, go ahead.
We don't have no more speakers.
Yes.
I do. I have a couple of concerns with this item. Just to share quickly, the material that is being provided, it's in one portion it shows 24 months. In the backup material it shows 12. There's also another item that's missing. It doesn't identify public benefit fees that would take place. And I'm very concerned that it did not have stakeholders' input. Maybe we could share who was reached out to or what entities were reached out to have further clarity on those three items that I've identified.
So to clarify, the study is being proposed that it would take 12 months. Within 12 months, there would be findings on the study. The temporary cap and moratorium is being proposed for 2 years. The intent behind that is if the study were to take 12 months,
That would still allow this board to review the findings of the study coming into that next year, while there was still time for development to happen in those remaining 12 months of the total 24 months. Regarding who was contacted, there was initial contact made with the Imperial Irrigation District and the Farm Bureau to let them know that we would be sharing this item today with the board, and if it were determined to move forward by the board, there'd be additional contact with those agencies to determine if they would like to participate in a comprehensive study.
So Barry, we have heard from IID, but we have not heard from Farm Bureau at this point?
Correct. IID has confirmed interest in collaborating and participating in a study with the county.
Okay, I can't imagine why the Farm Bureau wouldn't want to be a part of this. And I'm not speaking for them, but I think they would definitely want to be a part of it. Jesus, do you have a question? Comment?
Thank you, Chair. Just to answer Mr. Mashane's concern, this would be a moratorium on development on ag land, not all land. So just to be very, very clear, it would just be on ag land. I also agree with Supervisor Cardenas saying on the 12 and 24, it is, in my opinion, a little too long. I think we should reduce the assessment period to 6 months and the recommendations to within 12 months, basically starting from today. And that would be my motion, to decrease the moratorium from 24 to 12 and decrease the evaluation period from 12 to 6 months. Thank you.
Okay, is that a motion, Mr. Escobar? That is a motion.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Make the motion.
Oh, because I changed the original, that's why I don't know if you wanted to do out loud or not.
Okay. Okay, and there's a second by, motion by Supervisor Escobar, second by Mr. Kelly. Any other discussion? Would that work for you, Barry? Would that work with a 12 and a 6? Yes.
Yes, if that's the direction, we will complete the studies in that amount of time.
Okay. All in favor? Vote aye. Okay, motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Barry. Appreciate that. It is now 2:05, and we are going to go ahead and open the public hearing. So we will move to the portion of the public hearing, and we'll do item 19. Madam Clerk, do you want to read that?
Yes, Chairman, it's a procurement item to conduct a public hearing regarding a protest between Aggregate Products, Inc. and Pyramid Construction and Aggregate, Inc. related to request for quotation RFQ 25-0273 Imperial County Department of Public Works cold mix asphalt. You can now open the public hearing, Chairman.
Okay. We are now going to open the public hearing, and we have speakers.
Good afternoon, Board of Supervisors. I'm Rhoda Hoffman. I'm the purchasing supervisor. I'm here today for the public hearing regarding the protest appeal against Aggregate Products, Inc. and Pyramid Construction and Aggregates, Inc. On June 26th, a request for quotation was issued with a closing date of July 8th. July 15th, Aggregate Products submitted a formal protest. July 30th, Pyramid responded to the protest. August 19th, purchasing issued decision. August 25th, Pyramid Construction appealed, requesting the Board of Supervisors to affirm the purchasing decision of this protest.
Good morning, Supervisors. I'm Senior Deputy Kelly Renner-Singer. On behalf of the County Counsel's Office, I represent the Department of Procurement in this item, which is the appeal of RFQ 250723. I'm here to answer any legal questions for the department. The issue before the board is to affirm or reverse the purchasing decision of August 19th by the purchasing agent, Ms. Hoffman. The Department of Procurement is asking the board to please affirm the decision. That will allow the Department of Procurement and Public Works to resolicit the RFP.
Okay, are there any questions? Are there speakers that want to speak to this? Is there anyone from Pyramid or Aggregates?
Is someone here from Pyramid Construction?
I'm from Aggregate. We agree with the county.
Do you want to come to the podium, sir? State your name for the record.
Tony Alvarado from Aggregate Products. It's in our letter that we agree with the county to rebid it. And if it was to be awarded, if you guys have the information attachment one, it says, the asphalt price to be submitted in dollar amount per ton. If you go to attachment 3, two bidders were proper in the listing of the price per ton. And Pyramid was a lump sum, which makes it non-responsive. And another issue, if you take the 50,000 tons times the $93 a ton, it still makes Aggregate Products a little bit if you were to award it. But we agree that the county should rebid it because they need a different product in part of the item.
Tony, can you clarify? Did you say the county should rebid it because the product was misidentified?
All public agencies have the right to not award a project if they deem not proper for the usage. In this case, it wasn't. So any public agency has the right to not award and re-advertise to change the product.
That's confusing. What is he saying?
Supervisor Kelly, in this matter on August 19th, 2025, there was a purchasing decision issued by the Department of Procurement which allowed under Section G3 the procurement agent to cancel the solicitation. In this instance, it was because they wanted to rebid based on hot and cold asphalt due to the weather. So that's well within the procurement policy which was established by this board in 2019. I'm unclear why Pyramid is not here. They were properly noticed by the clerk of the board.
Okay. Mr. Gay, do you have a comment?
Just briefly. So after meeting with council, that was the direction from our department, was to go ahead and deny bids, to rescope, and then to go back out to bid, to have both cold mix and hot mix, just due to the timing in terms of when we'd actually receive the material because of the delay of the protest, and the fact that hot mix is better used in cold weather. So that was a direction that I gave, and that's the request that we have before you, but you have a right to award to either party or to deny, and we can rescope and go out to bid. Thank you.
Yeah. Are there any other speakers? Okay. If not, we will go to board comments.
You need to.
Okay, we need to close the public hearing, and we'll go to comments by the board. Is everything working? Our motions.
You can make a motion. You can, if you agree with
We're trying to make a motion.
Oh,
The problem is. Okay. So your motion is to go out to bid.
recommendations my motion is to follow the recommendations made by our council and our procurement department.
Okay. So we have a motion by Supervisor Price and a second by Supervisor Kelly. Please vote. Okay, motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Thank you, Rhoda. Okay. Okay, at this time, we have closed the public hearing on item 19. And we'll go to the public hearing on item 20, planning. And so we'll read the item.
Chairman, item 20 is conduct a public hearing to consider the following actions as recommended by the Planning Commission regarding the Big Rock 2 Cluster Solar and Battery Storage Project. You may now open the public hearing.
We now open the public hearing. Mr. Minnick, you want to go ahead with your presentation?
Sure. Good afternoon, Board of Supervisors. Jim Minnick, Imperial County Planning Director. Before you is a Big Rock 2 Solar Cluster and Battery Storage Project. It's located in the southwest area of the county and under the ag area. There are 4 proposed CUPs, conditional use permit 24006, 007, 008, and 009. The properties that encompass that are zoned agricultural. What's before you is a proposal to develop 1,800 acres of farmland. It would be an existing 280-acre entitlement incorporated into a new entitlement of land of 1,569 acres. The proposal could generate up to 500 megawatts of solar voltaic power as well as a 500 megawatt battery storage facility. There will be an additional gen-tie lines to connect to the existing infrastructure and ultimately to the Imperial sub. The project was reviewed as a water assessment and environmental impact report, mitigation monitoring and reporting program. The requested actions include a general plan amendment, which would create the overlay for renewable energy in that area, a zone change overlay for the same purpose, approval of 4 CUPs. You'll hear them called by numerical number 24006, 007, 008, 009, or also by their names, which is Big Rock 2 clusters north, south, east, and west. On this chart, you'll see that the acreage breakdown, megawatts, and so forth. This is again the locations of them as it stands right now. Here is another map showing the surrounding land use analysis, which we mentioned earlier. And then this is again the same photo of the projects in a little bit better detail. And then finally, we have a map of the projects, because a lot of times people will say, well, how does this connect with other projects or farmland? The areas in green are operating solar projects. The areas in yellow are already approved. It's part of that original 24,000 acres that Barry spoke of a few minutes ago. And the area in red is the area that's here proposing for development today. So what I would like to do now is turn the project over to the presentation over to our environmental consultant who prepared the environmental document, Tim Ganivas from HDR.
Good afternoon, Chairman and members of the board. I'm Tim Ganivas with HDR, environmental consultant to the county for this project. So as the project manager for preparation of the environmental impact report. So I have about a 5 or 10 minute presentation I'd like to run through. A little bit of recap of what Mr. Minnick just presented, but I'll just go through it step by step here. Okay, so the required project approvals and actions before you consists of approval of 4 CUPs, general plan amendment, zone change, a variance to increase the existing allowed height of 120 feet to 200 feet to allow for certain transmission facilities, water supply assessment, and EIR certification. All these actions were considered as part of the project implementation as evaluated in the environmental impact report. So this slide depicts the regional location of the project. It's the project site in relation to the existing renewable energy geothermal overlay zones. So as depicted in this slide, the kind of purplish areas are the existing RE zone, and the project outline is shown in 4 different colors, green, purple, and orange, and a lighter green. Those are the 4 CUP areas under consideration today. This slide depicts the project site in a more local context. The project is approximately 1 mile southwest of the town of Sealy, approximately 6 miles north of the border. The total acreage of the project area is 1,849 acres. 1,569 acres are on privately owned land, and then 280 acres were actually previously entitled under the Laura Cluster North and South project, but it's proposed to be re-entitled as part of the actions before you today. And again, this just depicts the 4 CUP areas in a more local context. As shown in this slide, its project is located in an area that there are existing solar facilities in proximity or right adjacent to the project site. Okay, so the breakdown of the project is the Big Rock Cluster North, CUP number 1, is approximately 910 acres, plus 120 acres that are proposed to be re-entitled for a total of 1,030 acres. Big Rock Cluster 2, the second CUP, comprises 410 acres. Big Rock Cluster East / Laurel Cluster South is CUP number 3. That's 160 acres that were previously re-entitled and will be re-entitled as part of the proposed actions today. Finally, Big Rock 2 Cluster West, CUP number 4, comprises 249 acres. The project in total would allow for development of a 500 megawatt PV solar facility and up to 500 megawatts of battery energy storage. There would be a dedicated substation, of course, supporting ancillary and auxiliary facilities. The project would connect with 66 kilovolt collector lines that would be run into a dedicated on-site project substation, and then it would ultimately connect to the IID Liebert switchyard. The project may include some 1 or several O&M buildings and on-site parking. So with respect to the environmental impact report, a very robust document was prepared. This slide depicts all the environmental topics that were analyzed in the EIR. From the analysis provided in the EIR, the conclusions are that no impact or less than significant impacts would result in the resource areas listed on this slide. Additionally, significant but mitigable impacts were identified for agricultural resources. The EIR proposes mitigation measures AG1, B, 1A, 1B, and AG2. Air quality, primarily just dust control. Mitigation measures AQ1 through AQ6 are proposed to address those potential impacts. Biological resources, mitigation measures Bio1 through Bio8. Cultural resources, mitigation measures Cultural 1 through Cultural 3. Geology and soils, mitigation measures GEO 1 through GEO 4, hydrology water quality, mitigation measures Hydro 1 and Hydro 2, and finally tribal cultural resources with mitigation measure TCR 1. The draft EIR was made for public review and comment for a period of 50 days. And during that review period, 4 comment letters were received. One from the Imperial County Air Pollution Control District, Defenders of Wildlife, Center for Energy Efficiency and Renewable Technologies, and the Imperial Irrigation District. All of these comment letters were responded to in detail in the final EIR that's before you today. There were some revisions to the draft EIR that were made in response to those comments, and that those responses, the revisions to the draft EIR, comprise the final EIR, as well as a mitigation monitoring and reporting program and CEQA findings. That concludes my presentation. I'm available for questions if you have any. Thank you very much.
Right. Our next speaker is Michael Bracken from Development Management Group. He'll talk about the economic impact analysis.
Good afternoon, board. Everyone can hear me okay? My name is Mike Bracken. I'm the managing partner and chief economist at Development Management Group Incorporated, also known as DMG Economics. We serve as your economist. We're independent, and we work on behalf of the County Imperial, not on behalf of the proposer. So real quick, as our comments today are likely considered part of your legal administrative record, I promise I'm not quite this narcissistic, but I do need to go over these. I hold a bachelor's degree and a master's of public administration. I've testified before Congress on empowerment zones and workforce development, assisted in drafting the payroll protection program, as some of you might remember the PPP during the pandemic, served as an expert witness in both federal and state courts, testified before the state legislatures, I'm sure most of you have, and I've testified before more county and local governments than I could probably count at this point. Also served as an expert economist to the Southern California Association of Governments and completed literally hundreds of fiscal and impact analysis. Okay, there we go. So in September of 2025, we completed an independent FEIA on the proposed Big Rock 2 solar and battery project. It's about 1,850 acres, again, 500 megawatts of solar and 500 megawatts of BESS, also known as battery storage. We did 3 things for you. One is we looked at the economic impacts of the project overall to the region. What is the money that will flow through the region as a result of this project? 2 is a job or an employment analysis, both the construction and permanent jobs. And 3 is the fiscal impacts to the county, to ensure that at no time your current taxpayers are subsidizing new projects coming into the county. All right. So the overall economic impacts, we look at the construction impacts, we look at operational, we look at local purchasing of construction materials and operational materials. And we also look at the impacts from the land purchase or lease to those to the affected property owners. Over the next 30 years, this project will generate about $227 million of economic activity here in the region. This is private sector economic impacts, does not include tax revenue. That comes in 2 more slides from now. Next one is the job impacts. We look on construction at what we call 1-year equivalents, and that is one construction worker working approximately 2,080 hours. How many jobs will that create? The construction of this facility will take about 2 years. It's 78 full-time equivalent construction workers working 2 years in the various trades. And then this will create approximately 6 full-time equivalent operation jobs, and you can see what the average pay is. The folks that are working these kind of jobs are usually in the electrical trades. They're doing balancing, and they're doing battery replacement and testing. So finally, on the fiscal impacts, we look at the tax revenue that comes into the county as a corporation, a municipal corporation. We then look at what the cost to host this facility in your region will be. You're anticipated to receive about $70.91 million in tax revenue over a 30-year period. Some of this is short-term sales and use tax that you'll get upfront during the construction period. Some of this is net to county property tax revenue. The public thinks you get all the property tax revenue that is paid. The reality is you get between 15 and 20 cents on the dollar. The rest of that finds its way up to Sacramento. And then in some cases back to some other local agencies that are outside of the county's control. And finally, the solar revenue fee, the per acre fee on this will generate about $49 million over a 30-year period. And then we're estimating that it'll cost you about $6 million to host this project. And what that means is you say, well, what do you mean by host? The people that work there, either construction or permanently, will have a use of county resources. So rule number one of doing a fiscal impact analysis is cactus do not call for service. I don't believe your sheriff's department gets a call from a cactus asking for help. They do get calls from people, and that's what costs money. So we look at the people that are involved in constructing and operating. At the end of the day, the net benefit to the county over a 30-year period is approximately $65 million. That is now money that's available to you for things like paving streets, providing law enforcement, fire, and social services. So a couple of recommendations that we have in here, which I believe have been included in the conditions of approval. If not, you need to strongly consider them. One is that there's an agreement in place to where all of the sales tax revenue from purchasing materials and equipment for the project are reported at the project site, which means you would then get the tax revenue. And then the second part of this is that you enter in agreements with Big Rock 2 that their property tax bills will not be appealed. That way you know what your property tax is going in. That's the final slide, and I'll remain available through the public hearing, Mr. Chair, in case you have any questions.
Thank you, Michael.
That
Appreciate
concludes staff's presentation. The applicant's representatives are here are available.
Okay, at this time, we'll entertain the speakers. Who do we have, Madam Clerk?
Yes, Chairman. First speaker is Andy Schwartz. Andy's. Okay.
Hello, Andy Schwartz, President of the Imperial County Building Trades Operating Engineers International Union, Local Number 12, 82846 Mount Riley Drive, Indio, California. I rise in support of this project. Our members really enjoy working on these solar projects. Many of them are out of the valley right now. They're working up in the Bakersfield area. They're working in Desert Center, and they'd like to come back home and get onto some of these projects locally. An apprentice starting out at the beginning of a project like this would be able to journey out by the end of the project. It's really great, and I don't have a lot to say about it, but I really support everything that you all do, and thank you all, board members.
Thank you, Andy.
Next speaker is Alex Abadi Jr.
Yeah, good afternoon, Board. Anyway, this, as you know, it's obvious, it's a solar project, so we're in California, right? So it's green energy. Everybody in California likes green energy, and it's part of the state mandate. Substation's been there for over 20 years. The land's logistically centered closest to the substation, so leapfrogging it's not a good idea. So at least the property being proposed is next to the substation. The transmission lines, they've been built over 10 years to fill. So the substation needs to, somehow we need to fill the substation with the power. These are the obvious things that need to happen. better use of the land. This is high water use land, low productive land, sandy soils, saline soils. Some of the property's not been farmed for 20 years. There's parcels that's not been farmed there for 20 years. There's other parcels being farmed struggling. This project's under the cap that's proposed, and I think it's better served and used for the property as it sits. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex.
Next speaker, Fabiola Moreno. Can you turn on your microphone? Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Fabiola Moreno with IBW 569. IBW is proud to support the Big Rock 2 Solar Plus BESS project. As said a little bit ago, 500 megawatts of solar and BESS. This project will provide IBW members with up to 4 years of steady work. A project of this scale also helps apprentices complete their training and advance to journeyman and journeywoman status. The more projects like this that we bring to the Valley, the more opportunities local residents will have to join our apprenticeship program, learn a skilled trade, and earn family-sustaining wages with quality healthcare benefits. Thank you.
Hector Mesa.
Good afternoon, Board. My name is Hector Mesa, a resident of Raleigh. I'm also a journeyman electrician by trade, and I also represent IBW 569. We need to keep having this type of projects. Projects are green, projects are renewable, in order to keep training our apprenticeships, bring more local opportunities for our community, and then keep us busy until we start Lithium Valley, right? We start making more electricians, so we'll be ready and prepared when that starts. Thank you.
Thank you, Hector.
Next speaker, John Tomlinson.
Thank you, members of the board. My name is John Tomlinson. My family's owned 4 parcels in this area, in the zoning in particular here, for 3 generations. I've myself been coming here for 58 years and enjoyed swimming in the canals during the summer when it was really hot from working on the farm.
Don't admit that to Dippy Duck, okay?
I just think that overall economic benefit to the county and to the county itself, to the county and area is great, and the overall benefit to society is great for this project. And I'm here to say on behalf of my family, we urge you to support the project. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Next speaker, Uriel Cota Casco.
Good afternoon. I'm Uriel. I'm for Union 229 Iron Worker, and I live here in the Valley, and this job gives me opportunity to support my family. Please support this project. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Costco.
Next speaker, Daniel Wisma.
Good afternoon. My name is Daniel Wisma with Iron Workers Local 229.
Can you turn on your microphone, please? Thank you.
Not that I need that, but good afternoon. My name is Daniel Wisma with Iron Workers Local 229, representing iron workers from San Diego all the way through Imperial County. as you guys already know, I mean, there's a lot of support in this room, but finding jobs for local people here is tough as it is already. So if we're in support of the project, and if you guys can support that project, it would be great. Put hundreds of people to work for at least a few years. That'd be great. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Daniel.
Christina Marquez.
Good afternoon, Christina Marquez. I'm a journeyman. I went through the apprenticeship. Projects like these give folks like myself opportunities to be able to learn and work and be able to take care of myself and my family and have full family health care benefits. Especially here in Imperial Valley, not everyone has the same opportunity, but opening up projects like these give more opportunity to folks who deserve a middle-class career. So I hope that you guys can support this. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina.
Danny Machine.
On the mic.
Thank you.
Good afternoon again. Again, I'm with the Imperial County Building Trades and also with the IBW Local 569, and we're in support of the project. This is going to bring a lot of work for our communities. We're going to be able to pick up a lot of our new people to train in the industry, not only for the electricians, but also for the other trades that are there. We're looking maybe between 3 to 5 years of work in there, which is something that we haven't had in this county for a while. All the projects that have come in have been kind of short and not long-lasting as they used to be. So we rise on support. Thank you.
Thank you, Danny.
Eric Reyes.
Eric Reyes, here with Los Amigos de la Comunidad. We support this for various reasons. There has to be a balance between what we want for environmental health as well as economic development. This is an opportunity within a framework of what has already been established, nothing new, and it's within the already allotted before your moratorium acres of solar land to be developed. And I'm also a former IBW Local 569 electrical workers training coordinator, where I saw the impacts of good paying jobs for families. Some of them were my ex-students that was able to get into the apprenticeship program. Used to be a teacher at Calexico High, and there's adults that are looking for work. It's so difficult, right, to find good paying job with health benefits and pensions. And yeah, they have had to travel. And I come from a migrant family. I'll tell you how difficult it is to live without your father in the time that you're waiting for him to come back from the harvest season, as we did when we were young. And some of the decisions that you make as not having your father around, not always being the best, right? So to see the love and the care that they have when they are home and the gratitude they have when they have a local job. We have 70 apprentices currently in Imperial County through IBW alone, not counting the other building trades, who are all mainly having to travel out and spend much, much time and their money outside of Imperial County. The more you create a job that also can be viable, they will spend that money here, creating a large economic turnaround for our community. And journeymen at the end, if they do the whole 5 years, they don't have a college loan to pay, and it's all paid for through the apprenticeship, and they're also making up to $60 per hour. And they travel and they make a lot of money on per diems, right? But they'd much rather be home and make that here and spend it here. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
Last speaker, Nick Gumbleton.
Good afternoon, Board. Nick Gumbleton with the LIUNA, Local 1184, and I'm a delegate for the Imperial County Building Trades. I'll keep it short. My other brothers and sisters from the other trades already spoke on it, but we just need more jobs. We haven't had a good job break ground down here in Imperial Valley in over 2 years. We have thousands of people sitting on the list waiting to go to work. They're traveling to Riverside County, San Diego. This is a great project. They'll give years of work to our members. It pays mortgage-paying salaries, brings health benefits, so I hope that we can approve this project and get going on it. Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. Are there any other speakers?
Chairman, I have no more speakers.
Okay, at this time we will close the open session and our public hearing, and we'll turn it over to comments from the board. Martha, you ready?
Just want to take this opportunity out of due diligence. I did do walking tours with the actual farmland owners in regards to how they felt about this project. We had open dialogue about how they felt about their land being used for solar farms. The discussion was honest and real. They do believe in this project, and they not only have some of their land already being used, but look forward to this project moving forward. So I think it's always important that we hear from the landowner and how they want to be able to use their land. So for that, it's important to hear from individuals that are going to be impacted. So with that due diligence, those conversations did take place. I appreciate those landowners that allowed me to come on and have those discussions with them, so I appreciate that. I also did have discussions with many of the union leaders, and also the opportunity for the apprentice programs for individuals to be able to actually execute and be part of this type of program. So I just want you to know that I did do my due diligence and I did have those conversations. I do have one question for you, Mr. Bracken, and I just want to just to be clear on this. As far as the public benefit fee for Big Rock, will this be based on actual cost of service? How are we going to calculate this public benefit fee?
Yeah, the public benefit fee was passed by policy of the board. So whether it's $450 an acre or $600 an acre, that was passed by, I believe, a previous board, of which 2 or 3 members of the board that passed that are sitting before you. So it was not based on cost of service. It was based on the policy of the Board of Supervisors.
Thank you. And I just wanted to make sure that that went on record so that we're clear about how we get public benefit funding. Thank you.
Yeah, and I should say that Rosa Lopez is also here, and she's the one who puts together the public benefit agreement itself, if you have additional questions on the agreement.
Sounds good. Want to make sure that we're investing back into our community as well. Thank you.
Chair,
Yes.
Do we need to make separate motions?
That is correct.
So motion to approve item 20A, adopt resolution to approve the water supply assessment.
Okay, I wonder, would there be, is this a good time to have supervisor comments or after you make the motion? Is that correct?
Oh, I thought we were done with, that's why I made the motion.
Okay.
I apologize.
No, that's fine. I want to keep your motion, but I just want to hear from other supervisors if they have any comments. No? Ms. Price?
No, I just appreciate the comments from all of the speakers, and the idea that we can put people to work with these jobs for several years is something that I think we all are trying to find those opportunities for our community, and so I just appreciate those comments. Thank you.
Okay, I do have a comment too. Mr. Kelly, no comment? Okay. So first of all, let me just say that decisions like this are difficult for me as a third-generation family farmer. And there are times like this that I do feel inadequate. And so I look at the pros and the cons of this project, and I looked at, I'm in favor of private property rights. I believe that everybody has the right to do what they want on their private property, but not at the expense of the family farm. Okay, so let me say this, that I'm for private property rights. I am for the revenue that has generated for the county. I believe that Big Rock has agreed to pay the fees that were imposed, the $600 fees on farm ground. I'm sure they had a little indigestion over that, but they've agreed to do that. And the other thing about the project that I like is that it's all in one area. It's not spread out over all farmland. So I appreciate those things. They're positives. But I do have cons, and there are things that I am against. As I said, my family farmed in this area since 1913 in the valley. And I do believe we have the right to farm. Everybody should have the right to farm if they want to go through the effort to do so. But when you put solar on farm ground, it's gone forever. It's no longer there. It will never be farmed again. Okay? That bothers me. Okay? We heard a lot about IBEW, and the jobs. So there will be jobs on the front end, maybe 2 or 3 years, maybe 4. But what I look at is a loss of jobs for 30 years and in perpetuity. The jobs of those that will work on the farms. Maybe not that many on a Bermuda farm or whatever, but at the same time, those jobs are people that live here and work here and spend their money here. So I'm not discounting IBEW and those that will construct these solar farms, but I do look at the long term and think that there will be a net loss in jobs in the long run. I also look at the demand for land. There will always be a demand for land. There will always be a demand. And as we've all heard, that land is not being made anymore. And today we've talked about a moratorium, and we've talked extensively about that. We want to include the IID, want to include Farm Bureau and any other farm groups that would like to be a part of that. But when we reach that moratorium number, believe me that I will vote diligently against any new farm solar projects, any new entitlements. When we reach that area, that is going to be it. And my vote, if I'm still around, will be against more solar on farm ground. So those are my comments. Okay. Any other comments? Okay, we have a motion to approve by Supervisor Escobar and a second by Supervisor Price. Please vote. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you very much for those of you that have come
Motion
to.
Chairman, we
Okay.
do
Gotta
need
do
to
separate
do
motion.
individual motions.
Oh, do we have to do every
Yes.
motion? Okay.
Motion to approve 20B, adopt resolution to approve final environmental impact report.
We have a motion by Supervisor Escobar, second by Supervisor Kelly. Please vote. Motion carries. Anybody want to do item C?
You got to read it out. Microphone.
Yes.
Adopt resolution to approve the mitigation monitoring and reporting program. That is item C.
Motion
My
by
motion.
Supervisor Cardenas Singh, second by Supervisor Kelly. Please vote.
District 2.
Did it get, okay, good.
Motion carries 5-0.
We're doing D.
Item D, go ahead, Debbie.
Motion to approve resolution to approve general plan amendment number 24-0002.
That's my motion.
Oh, I didn't
She
see
read
that.
for you?
Okay. Read it.
Motion by Supervisor Kelly, second by Supervisor Cardenas Singh. Please vote. Motion carries. Mr. Kelly, do you have a motion?
Chairman, if I may, I can read the motions
you?
for you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes,
that would
okay.
be helpful.
Item 20E, adopt resolution to approve zone change 24-003.
Motion by Supervisor Singh, second by Supervisor Price. Please vote. Motion carries.
20F, adopt resolution to approve conditional use permit number 24-006 North.
Motion by Supervisor Price, second by Supervisor Kelly. Please vote. And motion carries. Sorry.
20G, adopt resolution to approve variance number 24-0002 North.
Motion by Supervisor Cardenas Singh, second by Supervisor Kelly. Please vote.
District 2.
Sorry, I think I needed to press it a little harder.
Motion carries.
20H, adopt resolution to approve conditional use permit number 24-007 South.
Motion by Supervisor Kelly, second by Supervisor Price. Please vote.
I, adopt resolution to approve a variance number 24-0003 South.
Motion by Supervisor Kelly, second by Supervisor Cardenas Singh. Please vote. Sorry. Okay, motion carries.
20J, adopt resolution to approve conditional use permit number 24-0008 East.
Motion by Supervisor Kelly, second by Supervisor Price. Please vote.
District 3.
That's all right. Yes. And motion carries. That's all right.
20K, adopt resolution to approve variance number 24-0004 East.
Yeah, just leave it. Okay,
Chairman, it's been motioned by Supervisor Ryan Kelly, second by Supervisor Jesus Eduardo Escobar.
okay. Please vote. Motion carries.
20L, adopt resolution to approve conditional use permit number 24-0009 West.
Motion by Supervisor Singh and a second by Supervisor Escobar. Please vote.
And 20M, adopt resolution to approve variance number 24-0005 West.
Motion by Supervisor Kelly and seconded by Supervisor Escobar. Please vote.
Thank you.
Okay. And motion carries. Okay.
I need to go back to item 19 if we could real quick. Back to this.
Okay.
If you don't
Need-
mind.
need to
and
go
I'll-
back.
and then I'll explain on the record.
Okay, we are going to go back to item 19 real quick and allow Mr. Holbrook to explain a few things.
Thank you, Chair. The reason I request that this item be brought back is at 2 o'clock, the board called this item. We heard the item. Representatives from Pyramid were not present, and the board took action. I have since learned that Mr. McAllister, who's present, and counsel for Pyramid was outside in the hallway due to people being in the room and there not being a lot of space. He certainly would like to be heard. I am also aware, and what complicates this is the board's rules of conduct, specifically Rule 3E5, which discusses motions for reconsideration, which cannot be made at the same meeting. And you have made a motion and it's passed. So my recommendation would be to provide Mr. McAllister some time to address the board, give his position. If you think there is merit, direct that this be brought back at the next meeting for a further vote. If you do not find merit to the position, you can keep with the vote that's already been taken.
Okay. All right.
I'm an attorney. Thank you, Board, for allowing me to, Vance McAllister for Ewing, Johnson, and Graves, representing Pyramid Construction, and our client Daryl Dickerson is here as well to answer any additional questions you might have. To refresh your recollection on what this is all about, back this summer there was a solicitation for a bid for cold mix asphalt. There were bids placed in. My client, Pyramid Construction, was the low bid, and there was a protest, a petition protesting that low bid on some technical issues that were addressed by the county personnel. They reviewed the protest, and my understanding from reading the letter, they basically concluded that the protest didn't have merit, and that my client was indeed the low bid. But however, because they were now also looking to add hot mix into the project as well, that they just were going to pull back the bid altogether and rebid the whole thing hot and mixed and ask for bids again. The problem with that, obviously, is that we were the low bid. On the cold mix portion, the hot mix and cold mix do not have to be solicited together. They can be solicited separately. They are done that way all the time. As a matter of fact, on this very project, there was another commodity tack that was bid separately, so it can be done. And right now, if we rebid it, hot and cold, obviously everyone knows our low bid, and they can simply try and outbid us, and that's not quite fair. And the object here is fairness and reasonableness to our client. There really is no object that I can see in having a resolicitation of the entire commodity project, hot and cold mix. Simply go with the low bid, which is our client, which is in the best interest of the county on the cold mix. Rebid the hot mix if you would like, and have everybody rebid again. My clients will be happy to bid on that project as well, and try and win that bid as well. So that's basically what the item is. I can go into all the details if you like, but the bottom line is that we're asking the court, and I'm sorry, my attorneyness comes through. We're asking the board to not follow through with the cancellation of the bid, not send it back out to rebid, to honor the original low bid offer on the cold mix, and rebid the hot mix separately. And that's all we're asking for the board to do at this time. And it would be a overturning of the ruling to withdraw that solicitation, but I think that's perfectly doable in this situation. We've already got the solicitation out there. We've already got the bid in. It was all ready to go until this protest came in. The protest was found to be not really valid, and we're asking just to follow through with the normal procedure.
Let me ask a question, Mr. McAllister. What is the difference in price of a cold mix and a hot mix?
I'm not quite sure what the price difference is, but the cold mix is still going to be in the bid regardless, and the hot mix is going to be separate. There won't be one price for both. It'll be a cold mix price and a hot mix price, right? And so the cold mix price is still going to be our low bid. Would probably come in at that bid, but other people now might bid lower because they see what our bid is. So the hot mix might be, it's a different commodity altogether in a sense. And so the price will be entirely different, and they will be bid two different numbers for two different products.
Okay, can you answer why did you not bid in the hot mix?
Okay, when the bid was originally solicited, there was no hot mix. It was a cold mix bid only. And so we bid the cold mix, we got the low bid, we were going to be awarded the contract, $4.8 million, so it's not insubstantial. And then there was this protest. The county had to consider the validity of the protest, and in the process of determining a solution, we got a letter from the county that basically said, we reviewed the protest, here's what it says, we believe that the protest says these things, but however, we have a right to not consider these things or overlook these things or waive these issues, and basically was right on the verge of basically saying, and they're the low bid, but the county took the position, however, since we're also considering adding hot mix into the bid, why don't we just withdraw the entire thing, rebid it all together, give everyone a chance to rebid from scratch on the hot bid and the cold, the hot mix and the cold mix. Obviously, that prejudices my client because he was already the low bid on the cold mix, and they don't have to be bid together.
Okay, but my question stands is that if there is a difference in the price, I mean, you could, if you're looking at cold mix without the hot mix, we need to see what it would be. In my mind, we need to see what it is, what the difference is. I'm sure hot mix is more expensive.
Possibly so. And
Yeah.
so what's going to happen, and this was it's a valid question because right now, because it is hot mix and cold mix combined, the volume necessary for the cold mix may not be as high. They were bidding, the solicitation was for 50,000 tons of cold mix. Now there's going to be hot mix and cold mix. There may not be a need for 50,000 tons of cold mix, and there's going to be a different matter. However, all of these contracts have a basic concept that the county's only going to take what it needs anyway. So even though they bid for 50,000, they may not use 50,000. Matter of fact, most of the time they don't use it all. There's been bids that we have done, we've bid an amount and none of it was ever used, even though we were the low bid and we never got a dime out of the project, and that's fine. So here, even though it's a 50,000 ton bid and some of it is now going to be hot mix instead, however much that cold mix is, whether it's 50,000 or 20,000, we're still the low bid, and the rest of the hot mix is a separate deal altogether.
Will you bid the hot mix
Oh,
the same
yes.
price as the cold mix?
We'll be bidding the hot mix along with everybody else at hot mix price.
Okay.
And the cold mix is still going to be the cold mix price. And so they're two separate products.
Well, and you would have a real advantage if you just paid for if we bought the cold mix.
Yes, but again,
Okay.
you guys are now going to rebid the hot mix anyway.
Well, so anyway, let's hear the other side. Okay. Rhoda?
Chairman Hawk, again, Kelly Runner-Singer, Senior Deputy County Counsel on behalf of Procurement. I'm mindful of the board's own rules of conduct, which were stated by the County Council, which are no motion for reconsideration can be brought the same day. It's difficult for the County Department of Procurement to provide a response because Aggregate is no longer here. They are the other party in this bid structure. Which is why the motion for reconsideration generally can't be brought on the same day. I will say, however, Chairman Hawk, that to the extent that an appeal under the procurement policy is different from a protest hearing, an appeal Aggregate protested. The purchasing department issued a decision based on the procurement policy section G3, which allows the procurement agent to reject and cancel any solicitation prior to the formalization of a contract if in the best interest of the county. That was based on information from the Department of Public Works that's due to the weather, cold and hot asphalt were going to be added to a single solicitation. Once that happens, that's well within the board's own policy, which the board adopted in 2019. The procurement agent then issued that decision on cancellation. So to the extent that we're kind of talking about pricing, that's not really relevant. The relevance is, did we cancel the solicitation under G3 correctly? And that is the legal basis of the purchasing decision. Chairman Hawk, if you actually look at the purchasing decision, we restated the argument of Aggregate, but we did not analyze it. So there was no substantive analysis of Aggregate's argument. It was merely a cancellation of the solicitation. Ms. Hoffman, did you want to say anything?
Yeah, that's, in my opinion, just canceling was the best solution for the county at this point when we made that decision and going out to bid. I understand you're privy to the pricing that was submitted, but anytime after a close of a bid, in Planet Bids, you're able to see what the vendors submitted as far as the total pricing. Some of them do zero amount, some of them do the full amount, some of them do the per ton. We do not use that as our decision making at all. We go by the quote sheet that we guided them to submit on that bid, and how that quote sheet reads per ton, tax, if there's shipping involved, shipping, and then the grand total. And we go off the grand total, because obviously tax is going to have an impact, right?
Comments?
And I just want to say we are not objecting at all to their right to withdraw the bid. That's perfectly within their right. We're just, and they followed all the procedures correctly and withdrew the bid appropriately in the situation. There was no fault with that. We're asking that the board override that decision for the fairness to our client with the fact that we were the low bid. And although they never had to come to the conclusion that we were the low bid because of the protest, I think in the least, if you, since the withdrawal did not need to occur and they could have been bid separately, at least if we withdraw that withdrawal of the bid, she could then finalize her conclusion as to whether we were appropriately the low bid and then decide if that's the case, great. If not, then we'll move on.
So let me just get this straight. So you have the right to rebid and they have the right to rebid.
They have the right to withdraw their solicitation.
Yeah.
See, right now, the other bid, the other party is not even really a party to this action. It's our request, our appeal of the county's decision to withdraw the bid and to rebid it. And we're saying there's no need to withdraw the bid and rebid it because the only reason given for the withdrawal and the rebid was to add in the hot mix. And right now, you don't have to add in the hot mix with the cold mix and rebid it, just bid the hot mix. Follow through with the cold mix.
But you have the opportunity now to lower your price and compete with them.
That's exactly right.
And that would be great for the county.
That's exactly right. And that's where the fairness issue comes in. These bids are all bid through the system, and we can't see what each other's bids are till it's all done. And then at that point, now, cat's out of the bag, they know what our low bid on cold is, and that's where the fairness comes in.
Mr. Kelly.
Mr. McAllister, I'm sorry that you were stuck in the hallway, but it was noticed and it was on time. We were searching for your party's representation, and an action's been taken. You do have, there's no harm, and I do encourage you to submit for the new RFP. Additionally, to our own departments in purchasing and public works, we are in the winter, and hot mix is now the preferred. So this is very far in delay, so let's make sure we get it done right this time.
No, I understand that, Your Honor. And my understanding is that there is an opportunity, even despite this procedurally, to, now that you've heard what the matter is about, to come back next week and have it back on for regular calendar, that you maybe procedurally can't make a decision now at this point because of noticing purposes and all that, but that it can be continued or moved to next week and have it heard and dealt with on a full matter. And we're perfectly fine with that, Your Honor.
So
I'm just saying go out to a new RFP.
Yep. Supervisor Price.
No, thank you, Chairman, but Rhoda, you answered the questions that I had, and Supervisor Kelly also did as well. So for the sake of redundancy, I'll withdraw my wish to comment.
So Jeff, we need to come back next week.
Not necessarily. So if there's a desire, based on what you've heard, that you might reconsider, I recommend a motion to bring this back next week. However, if based on everything you've heard, you do not have a desire to bring it back, you do not think you'll reconsider, then take no action. And if that occurs, the action from today will stand.
Okay. Comments? My vote would be that the action stands. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. So our action stands. Thank you, Mr. McAllister.
Okay, thank you very much.
My apologies, yes. Thank you. So now we have to go to item 21. Right, 15. Okay, so we go back You want to read that? Okay, at this time, we'll go to item 21. Item to be presented and voted on. Okay, approve the public service agreement with 8ME LLC pertaining to Big Rock. Okay, Rosa?
Good afternoon, Rosa Lopez, Executive Office Staff. Today we bring before you the request for the approval of the public service agreement for Big Rock 2 cluster. While your backup does provide individual public benefit agreements, for purposes of today, I will be summing it up. So I will repeat minor details that Mr. Bracken provided. For all 4 projects, again, we're looking at approximately 1.1 million annually because most of it does fall under the farmland. And then for the life of the project, you're looking at about 48,300,000, and again, 30 years. Anything beyond that will be included. In regards to sales tax for the materials and equipment purchased, you're looking at 8.1 million. And something that does get overlooked is LTA always will automatically receive half a cent. So you're looking at LTA receiving about $4 million. So all attached in your backup, you have individual public service agreements. So today we ask for your approval via the individual PSAs. Thank you.
Okay, but this could all be done in one motion? Is
That's
that
correct, Chairman, but I do have some speakers for this item as well.
Okay.
First speaker, Alex Abadi Jr. Eric Reyes. You're fine. Okay. Christina Marquez. And Danny Machine.
Okay. We have a motion by Supervisor Kelly and a second by Supervisor Cardenas Singh. Please vote. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. At this time, we'll go back to item 15, discussion action regarding the letter of support for controlled thermal resources.
Good afternoon, Chairman and Board. The item before you is a request for a letter of support for controlled thermal resources. As many of you are aware, the county did approve Controlled Thermal Resources Hell's Kitchen project and certified the EIR on January 3rd, 2024. Unfortunately, development of this project has not yet started due to the project being under litigation for the last 686 days. This project is significant for our region because it would bring 50 megawatts of clean baseload geothermal energy. It also has the potential to bring 25,000 metric tons of lithium carbonate annually, create 500 construction jobs, and create 75 full-time, high-paying careers. In addition to that, this project is anticipated to have a 30-year cumulative impact with key property tax examples of over $115 million to the Calipatria Unified School District, over $24 million to the Imperial Valley College District, as well as over $12 million to the Imperial Valley Healthcare District. As Controlled Thermal Resources continues trying to secure the financing for their project due to the significant delays of litigation on this project, we'd like to provide a letter of support for them. Available to answer any questions.
Chairman, I do have one speaker. Ms. Christina Marquez.
Good afternoon. Christina Marquez speaking on behalf of IBEW Local 569 in Imperial and San Diego counties. We rise in support of this project. I believe we sent in a letter for support of this and hope that you can please support it as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. Okay, any comments? Okay, we have a motion by Supervisor Kelly and a second by Supervisor Price. Please vote. Motion carries 5-0. Item 16, discussion action regarding the following actions as requested by the chairman.
Mr. Gil
Appoint-
Revelar will be presenting this item.
Good afternoon, Board. Deputy CEO Gil Revelar. This item is the appointment of Imperial County's representative to the Salton Sea Conservancy Board of Directors. As you know, Senate Bill 583, the Salton Sea Conservancy Act, created the Salton Sea Conservancy as a state agency within the Natural Resources Agency to support implementation of the Salton Sea Management Program Phase 1 10-year plan and the Long Range Plan. It charges the Conservancy with operating, maintaining, and managing projects built under the state Salton Sea Management Program to fulfill the state's obligations under State Water Board Order 2017-134, and with acquiring and managing land and property rights, including easements and water rights in the Salton Sea region. By January 1st of 2026, the Conservancy must be governed by a Board of Directors. That board includes a seat that is appointed by the Imperial County Board of Supervisors and is a resident of this county or your designee. Today's item is simply to fill that statutory seat so that the Imperial County has a formal vote and voice as the Conservancy begins its work. Recently, the Imperial Irrigation District Board appointed Chairwoman Gina Dockstader as IID's representative to the Conservancy, while at the same time voted to end IID's formal membership in the Salton Sea Authority effective June 30th, 2026. In other words, IID is signaling that its long-term engagement on Salton Sea issues will shift from the Joint Powers Salton Sea Authority to the new State Conservancy framework. Imperial County remains a member of the Salton Sea Authority. That relationship is not changed by today's item and would only be addressed under a separate agenda action. What is before you now is narrower, to ensure that as this new State Conservancy Board is seated and begins setting priorities and policies, Imperial County's interests, public health, air quality, habitat, land use, and economic opportunity for our communities around the sea are represented at the table consistent with the Act. Today's recommendation is that your board appoint a representative, either a member of this board or a designated Imperial County resident, that is at your discretion, to serve as Imperial County's voting member on the Salton Sea Conservancy Board of Directors, and to direct staff to transmit notice of that appointment to the California Natural Resources Agency and the Conservancy. That concludes my brief.
Hey, thank you, Gil.
Chairman?
Yes.
If I
thank
may.
you.
Given the complex issues with the Salton Sea and this new bill, I would nominate someone that's very experienced in this area, although we're all knowledgeable, someone that's been working on this subject matter for a number of years, and I would recommend or nominate Supervisor Kelly as an appointment to this Conservancy Board.
Thank you, thank you, Supervisor Price. And I'll second that so that we can move along, because I know there's many more things to do, but I appreciate the confidence.
Okay. Any other discussion? If not, we have a motion by Supervisor Price, second by Supervisor Kelly. Please vote. And motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Supervisor Kelly. At this time, we'll return to public comment.
Chairman, we are still missing department announcements prior
Okay.
to public comment.
Oh, I'm sorry. Department announcements? Do we have, who do we have?
Ms. Jeanette Angulo from our Public Health Department.
Good afternoon, honorable board members. Chairman Jeanette Angulo, Imperial County Public Health Department Director. And what I have in front of you today is just a quick update on our accreditation status. National Public Health Accreditation status, quick roadmap there. We started our journey 2019 or so. We submitted an application but had a pause in 2020 because of the pandemic. 2022, 2023, we re-engaged, but we weren't quite ready to restart the process. We had the pandemic, some of those activities, and we had some gaps to fill. In January of 2024, that's when we said, that's it. We got to do this. So we reapplied and had 12 months to submit documentation demonstrating compliance with 10 domains and 87 measures. And I will share that these are measures that are set by the Public Health Accreditation Board, who evaluates how well health departments meet nationally recognized evidence-based standards. The purpose of this is to improve and protect the public's health by strengthening the quality and performance of state, local, tribal, and territorial health departments. And for us, public health departments, it helps us identify what is done well and what areas need improvement, and it supports continuous quality enhancement. So coming back to the timeline and milestones met, we submitted all the needed documentation, requested documentation, by January 2025. It was over 200 documents to demonstrate adherence. And then in August of 2025, we had an in-person site visit. And so the site visit went well, so well that you now have an accredited public health department. So we'll be sharing this historic achievement with our community later today and our partners via a news release. We will be posting on our website and on our social media platforms. We are now listed as a nationally accredited public health department. I will say that in California, only 44% of local health departments are accredited. And nationally, it's under 20% of local health departments that have this status. For us, what's ahead is we're already thinking of reaccreditation. So it doesn't stop here. We maintain standards. We conduct ongoing performance management and quality improvement activities. We submit annual reports, and then we get to reapply for reaccreditation 2029, 2030, the year 2930. And so before ending, I just want to take some time to express my gratitude to our public health team. Thank you all. We have some of our team members here. Thank you all for your hard work, your dedication, your resilience in serving our community with passion and integrity. To our Board of Supervisors, you were part of this. When we were gathering documentation, several of the documents, some of those that we worked in conjunction on, those were submitted as part of those measures and domains that we had to meet. Your support has been invaluable throughout these years. To our community partners, their collaboration ensures that we provide the best possible service to our community. And to our community, thank you for trusting us to serve you. And special thanks to our site visit partners, local partners from Imperial County Office of Education, Community Health Plan of Imperial Valley, the LGBT Resource Center, Empower Debt Surgery Center, San Diego State University Calexico Campus, Office of Border Health San Diego, Imperial Valley Food Bank, Westmoreland Food Pantry, Imperial County Behavioral Health Services, Intercare, our supervisor, not acting as supervisor, but as a representative of Intercare, took part in that. And thank you, Board of Supervisors, Supervisor Cardenas Singh and Supervisor Escobar, for taking the time to meet with our national site reviewers, peer reviewers. So again, thank you all for your support and for celebrating this wonderful milestone with us. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeanette. Peggy?
Moving on.
Yep.
I just.
Okay. Okay, at this time, are there any other department heads?
We did, but they had to take off, so.
Okay.
We will continue to next week.
So we'll take a 4-minute break, not 5, 4. Okay, take a 4-minute break and we'll come back to public comments. Okay? Comment? So if you have a comment and you've signed up, go ahead, Ms. Clerk.
First speaker, Nadim Corey.
Hi, Board. It's a little bit different than what we've been seeing here. I'm here just to introduce ourselves. Boutique Air. We're here for the essential service bid that's coming due 17 December. We've been trying just to we've been in contact with a couple peoples already in the city. Just we didn't have the chance to meet officially. So we're looking forward for it, and we're here basically to see what's the city expectation, what they're looking for the next bid. And that's why we're here. That's briefly. I know it was a long day for you guys. That's pretty much it.
Chair,
So
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Go ahead.
Chair, we do have a meeting set for tomorrow to meet with Boutique Air.
Okay.
Yes.
Great.
That's correct. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nadim. Thank you, sir.
Michelle Hollinger. And the next speaker would be Christopher Scarosi.
Here.
Good evening, and thank you for your time. I'm Michelle Hollinger with Victoria Homes. We are a small business in Imperial. This data center affects not only my business, my father's legacy, but all the homeowners' legacy too. It's emotional for me. I would like to request from the county supervisors to revisit what can be zoned in the M1. You have a data center that doesn't require a EIR or a CEQA zoned in that. It's not transparent to any of your constituents, your people here in the valley. Along with M1 and data centers, art galleries, ballrooms, bakeries, interior designers, which I am. I don't understand how something like a data center can be listed in the same zone. The other thing that I am requesting from the supervisors is that there is a special meeting held just for this reason. You need to be transparent with us. This data center has said that it's going to create jobs. Well, you're going to lose 100+ jobs from Victoria Homes. That's been here by your side for 35 years. Speaking of zoning, what makes you say that doing 5 lots, a merger of 5 lots, one of them being A2, that the rest of this A2 county land won't be transformed to data centers? And then from Clark to Dogwood, all the way south of us to the IID station will be full. Is that what you're planning? I want to know. Everybody here deserves to know.
Good afternoon, Board. My name is Christopher Scurries. I'm here today because something profoundly wrong is happening in our county. A 950,000 square foot data center is being forced onto the doorsteps of families, children, seniors, and working class people who have built their lives here. This proposal is not just bad judgment. It's not just poor planning. It is a direct threat to our community's health, safety, and dignity. You've heard from your community. We know what data centers do. We know what they're known for, so I don't want to bore you with the details. But you know it's not compatible with neighborhood life. You know it's not compatible with basic human sense, and you know it's absolutely not compatible for the future of this community. No rational governing body would look at this plan, this location, this scale, these impacts, and think, yes, this belongs next to people's homes. So we, the community, are left wondering, what on earth is driving this decision? Because it's not public health, it's not safety, it's not environmental protection, it's not long-term planning, and it's certainly not the well-being of the people living next to this monstrosity. And we, the community, will not entertain the fallacy that this will stimulate our economy with several well-paying jobs. AI has robbed far more people of their livelihood than it could ever eclipse with this project or any other. When a decision looks as this reckless on its face, people start asking the questions that shake public trust to its core. You should be alarmed by that, because trust once broken is not easily restored. Let me be clear. This project will devastate property values. It will punish homeowners financially. It will increase energy costs for the entire region. It will erode air quality, strain our limited water resources, and replace peace and quiet with an industrial hum that never, ever, ever, ever stops. You cannot hide those impacts. You cannot downplay them. You cannot bury them in paperwork, because every person living near this project will feel them every day in their lungs, in their wallets, and in their quality of life. And we are not going to accept that, not passively, not politely, and not under any circumstances. If this board pushes this project forward, you are making a choice, a deliberate, conscious choice to sacrifice your community, your family, your neighbors, your coworkers in favor of a safe developer, a private developer. Mr. DuBose isn't here to tell us his client. That developer will extract what they want and leave us with the consequences. This is our home, our backyard, our air, our water, our future. This community is awake, we are alert, we are united, and absolutely unwilling to sacrifice something for someone else's profit. So please, do the responsible thing. Do the only rational thing. Do the only moral thing. Shut it down. Thank you for your time.
Next to speaker is Katie Burnsworth, and then Timothy Kelly. Can you turn your microphone? Thank you.
No worries. Good afternoon, Board of Supervisors. Thank you for giving me 3 minutes of your time today. I've waited about 3 hours for this at this point, so thank you very much. I want to start by saying something very clearly. I support economic development. I'm a resident of the City of Imperial. I'm also a council member of the City of Imperial. We want to see projects succeed in Imperial County because they create opportunity for our residents. Growth is good for Imperial County when it is done responsibly, transparently, and based on facts. And that's why I'm here today, because there's a well-known principle in public policy that reminds us how to make good decisions. It's a quote by W. Edwards Deming. "In God we trust, all others must bring the data." Economic development does not mean lowering environmental standards and skipping steps just to get a project through. It means building projects that will last, that will strengthen our economy, improve the quality of our life for our residents, and most importantly, projects that our community can trust. And trust comes from data. Trust comes from actual analysis, not assumptions, not memos written by a developer. Trust comes from a process that invites the public, not shuts them out. When the county advances a major process without real data on air quality, noise, traffic, and punitive impacts, it undermines the very economic development that the residents that they claim to support. Because no project succeeds when it starts with mistrust. No project thrives when the public is told to simply take our word for it. You'll be okay. Because as you've heard from many of my Imperial constituents today, they are scared about the impacts of this project. And I can't sit there and ask them and tell them in the face, is this project going to be safe for you? Is your home values going to go down? Is your kid not going to be able to breathe as good? Because there is 2 elementary schools about to be in that zone, one of which my kids do go to. And so I ask you, show them the data. If this project is great and there's no impacts, show them the data. What's the issue? If the county believed that this project has no impact on our residents' health and quality of life, then bring the data. If the developer believes that this project benefits the community that it's going to be built in, then bring the data. That is how we build confidence. That is how we build good policy. And that is how we build real, sustainable economic growth that lifts Imperial County now and for generations to come. It all starts with trust. So I ask you, sitting up here on the dais, and the supporters of this data project, would you want this 200 yards from your backyard?
Ms. Francois, your 3 minutes are up.
Do you trust that it's going to
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, Honorable Supervisors, Tim Kelly, Imperial Valley Economic Development Corporation. I got to tell you, if everything that was said was true, I wouldn't want a data center here either. The problem is, I know it's not. I've been working on data centers for over 20 years. 20 years. We've been having public comment. We've been notices. Our comprehensive economic development strategic plan. Excuse me? Oh, no, I didn't hear you.
Everyone, if we could please remember to follow the code of conduct, please. No profanity or obscenity, yelling or screaming, please.
I was called naive and ignorant yesterday. I will continue. Everything that has been said has been addressed and will be continued to be addressed. And I want to go through a process. I want to let you know that one thing I heard yesterday is I was told that the Cal Ethos project, which is going to be a $5 billion data center in Imperial County, has been canceled. The reason that it's been canceled after $5 million of investment was because they could not see the project meeting the timelines because of the litigation with CTR, the threatened litigation of Berkshire Hathaway, of ESM, and now Mesquite Mine. What's going on in our community is people are using misinformation, using lawsuits to shut down project. The recommendation, only go to where it's properly zoned because it will be sued, you will be extorted, and you should go someplace else. If we continue down that path, there will be nothing for the Imperial Valley. Nothing for the Imperial Valley, but you know what? We'll be still using data. The money that we're using for our cell phones, for Netflix and everything else is used for data. It's going to be spent, and the regions and other areas are going to see the benefit. That particular project was going to create $5 billion, 1,500 construction jobs over a 10-year period. So when the unions say these are temporary jobs for 10 years. Not for 1 year, for 10 years. In addition to that, that company is now moving forward on our project in Carson City, Nevada, Bismarck, North Dakota, Idaho, and Texas. The reason why? Proximity to natural gas, ability for self-generation, of which 85% in all the United States are now self-generation with grid backup. This is the opposite. Recommendations for data centers, number one, zoning, transmission, water, fiber, natural gas, and workforce. Let's bring the workforce here. We're already training them at Imperial Valley College. We identified locations for data centers. There's several in the Imperial County. I have worked on over $25 billion of projects. Almost all have been sued. They have come to fruition. I have worked with Huberger.
Mr. Kelly, your 3 minutes are up.
I have not seen one project. I'd like to request more time since my time was taken away for interaction. I would like for more time since I was interrupted.
Listen, we need order in the room. There was disrespect for this speaker. No one disrespected you when you spoke. You have 15 seconds.
Thank you.
Wrap it up.
So we have zoning. The next step is going to be permitting. The things that you brought up still have to go through the permit process. There has to be a traffic study. It has to be an air study. The county will make sure that everything meets the compliance of that area and it's zoned. And so therefore, I want to just point
That's
out
it.
one
That's
project,
it,
and
Tim.
that's One Wilshire Center, downtown LA.
Thank you. All right. Okay.
Danny Bautista and Michael Antonio Morales.
My name is Danny Bautista. I'm a retired teacher in this county, and I have grandchildren that live in the Victorias. And me as a grandfather, I'm very concerned about something like this being put right next to my grandchildren. And the one thing that's been hitting me, I've heard all the comments about the data center, but the one thing that's just ringing out in my mind is cyber attacks. If there's a cyber attack, I haven't heard anybody defend a data center. The access of a cyber attack to a data center is increasing astronomically because of AI. I did a little bit of research on it, and I was like, you know what? It makes it very difficult as a grandparent to think that my little grandchildren can be affected by that. And all of you know that that is possible. It's not if it's going to happen, it's when it's going to happen. And that's my concern. And I wish you guys take that into consideration. Thank you.
Good afternoon, County Boards of Supervisors. My name is Michael Antonio Morales, and I am a concerned resident of El Centro. I'm here today before this board to speak to you about the issue that's on all the residents of Imperial County's mind, the proposed development of the data center in our front yard. Thanks to the City of Imperial, the public of Imperial County was made aware of actions of this board with regards to the data center. This board made the decision to fast track and approve the development of the data center in the dead of the night to avoid any transparency, environmental study, or how this would affect the residents of Imperial County. These actions were taken with the hopes that by the time the citizens were made aware of it, it would be too late to undo what has been done. Well, the cat's out of the bag, and the citizens of Imperial County have been made aware, and we're greatly disappointed in this board's actions. The citizens of Imperial County are not only disappointed, but we're mad as hell at this blatant betrayal to us and our children's future, and the future over this county that we have come to love and we call home. I would like to point out a few known facts about the data center, since a previous speaker spoke about a lot of misinformation. Point number one, data centers consume about 4.4% of the total U.S. electricity in 2023, and that number is expected to triple in the next 3 years, according to the 2024 report on the U.S. Data Center Energy Use, produced by the Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory. Number 2, the Mid-Atlantic Regional Grid, where several of the data centers are housed, is projected to see rate increase of up to 20% by this year, and the grid operator is now paying $14.7 billion for power in the 2025 delivery year, compared to $2.2 billion in the previous year. Number 3, according to a study from APM Research Labs in 2021, Google, 15 U.S. data centers, they have 15 U.S. data centers, withdrew more than 4.2 gallons of water. Over 3.3 billion of those gallons were consumed, meaning that they weren't returned to its original source.
Mr. Morales, your 3 minutes are up.
Let me finish this paragraph, please.
Chairman.
That's about as much
Chairman.
water consumption
Chairman.
as
His 3 minutes are up.
35,486 U.S. households. In the same year,
Mr. Morales, you need to wrap it up, okay?
1.3 billion gallons of water in 2021.
That is Mike.
Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up and say that I, as a citizen of Imperial County,
Mr. Morales, please.
I would like to demand that this board have town halls in each and every community that you represent and meet with your...
Mr. Morales, you are done. You are done. That is Mike.
It's been cut.
Okay.
Chairman.
Yes.
I have something.
Okay.
Mr. Morales, I can tell you quite emphatically that there was no secret meeting, that this board never voted. There was nothing done. This is a development that was presented in a process identified to go through a by right use on that property. So this board, if you're under the impression that we made a decision, that did not occur.
Why is it that we just found out from the city of Imperial?
I just wanted to make sure that you didn't leave with the impression that we had a vote. We did not.
So are you. Okay, so listen. Okay, he was called on. Okay, listen, folks, this is not going anywhere. The board, as Mr. Kelly had said, we have not met to discuss on this at all. Did you know that that a data center was probably approved in 2000 in a industrial area? Then go to the city of Imperial and ask, why did they put a housing development in an industrial area? Why? Ask your city that. Why did they do that?
Frankly, you're speaking out of turn too.
No, I'm not speaking out of turn. I'm just saying.
Public comment section.
Data centers
Okay.
didn't exist in 2000.
Public comment section.
What didn't exist?
Data centers.
Don't entertain the conversation.
Okay. All right. We're going to cut the meeting because we do have a meeting at 4 o'clock. Nope.
3 hours.
Okay, you may come back if you will have things to say. You can come back after an appointment that we have at 4 o'clock. We have an interview, and we're gonna. Nope. Okay,
Chairman.
ma'am. That's it.
We're gone? Okay.
We are closing this meeting. This meeting is now closed.
Chairman, do it later or now?
3 hours. We took time out of work. Speaking out of turn, you and tell them shit. Your residents speak out of turn, you fucking sit them down.
Chair Hawk, I recommend a recess.
So do we need to do roll call or anything? No?
No, I think
Okay.
I'll just start
We'll
reading.
resume our public comments.
Yes.
Okay?
April Ochoa.
There's
Katia
just-
Olivas.
Hello, my name is Katia Olivas, and I'm a resident of Imperial. We've been here for 3 hours, and we spoke to residents, Imperial residents, on Saturday, and they had no idea about this data center either. I know that several of you guys up here are claiming that you guys didn't know as well. And so we're just confused since the planning committee is under your jurisdiction why you didn't know. We're confused who's supposed to know. If the city of Imperial is saying that they didn't know either, it's a giggle, right? It's a giggle, but it's our lives. It's our lives that are being played with. So it's not funny. It's not funny because our children, our future generations are going to suffer from cancer. They're going to suffer from asthma, which are things that our community already faces. Our community already has high rates of asthma, already has high rates of cancer, because farmers like the Kellys like to pump our fields full of pesticides and harm our farmers and our campesinos in the Imperial Valley. You mentioned, John Hawk, that you got your land in 1913, but do you want to tell us how you got your land?
It was a grant from the
Yeah.
United States if someone would come and live.
Yeah,
Come
and
and
that
live
land was stolen from the Coahuila people and the Quetzal people and the Kumeyaay people.
But it was
So
desert.
we talk about property, and we talk about respect for property, but there was no respect for those people. There was no respect for those communities even to this day. Where we're being played in our faces. We are going to suffer the consequences. We already suffer the noise consequences from the helicopters that fly over our heads. Where are you going to store the data that they're collecting on us? Is that what you want to store in this data center? Or what do you even want to do in this data center? What is going to be constructed there? What is going to be held there? We talk about the lithium batteries that are going to be created next to this data center that may explode at any second. And who's going to suffer the consequences from that? The people who own the houses, the people who live there, not the people who make money off of our backs. Your cousin was here talking about how it's a good investment, how all his projects have been sued. Let's wonder why. Let's wonder why his projects have been sued. Maybe it's because he sells off to the highest bidder without actually caring about the citizens of this county. Maybe that's the reason. Stop building things that will harm us. Stop building things just because your greed turns on. Stop selling off our lives and our future generations. Stop it. Because we will be there if you build it, and we will shut it down.
Do I start? Hi, good afternoon. I don't really have anything prepared to say because I just found out about this 2 days ago. So I've been living in Imperial since late 2020. Didn't receive any single notification, any single word that this was going to happen. So needless to say, I'm not too pleased. I have 3 kids, fourth one on the way. And this is just going to be detrimental, not just to us, but for their futures. This is going to make housing go down, the prices of the property values go down. No one's going to want to live here. It's going to be hard for those who want to leave to move. You talk about jobs, construction, so on and so forth. I forgot who it was that I was talking about. It's going to be for 10 years possibly of good work for construction workers. What about for the future of everybody else? My kids? If they're not in construction, what jobs are they going to have? None, because it's going to be a fucking ghost town. Sorry for my language.
We would ask you to please watch your language. Thank you.
This place is going to be a ghost town. And do any of you care? Does anybody honestly care? I care about my kids. I care about my futures. I don't know about anything about you guys. I don't know anything about anything that's going on. But I do know everything that was given on this packet. I work in San Diego in law enforcement. I protect for national security. Last year, there was a 200 megawatt facility, a battery facility from SDG&E in the Otay Mountains area. It was a lithium-ion battery, or for short, battery energy storage system that lit on fire. That fire was going on for 11 days. They had an evacuation order for almost half a mile. They had to stay in shelter for the prisons out there, so nobody could leave. That was a half a mile radius. This is 862 times, over 4 times the amount. What's that going to do for the residents around there? I live half a mile away from this area, from where the proposal is going to be. What's going to happen to my children? I see them 52 days out of the year, and I am here right now wasting almost 4 hours of my life, my time with my kids, with my wife, to plead for their future. So that's why I'm here speaking up. I'm spending time with you people instead of time with my family. 52 days out of the year. But a small sacrifice that I do for my family to come home, see them every day, I'm hoping and I'm praying that you guys do the right thing for their future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Godinez.
Monica Romero. Chairman, that's the last speaker I have.
Okay. And you have 24 seconds.
24.
But we'll give you
Okay.
30, okay?
Can I hand this out so you can pass it?
Sure.
It's a 3D print of what this is going to look like. The blue dots are the homes. And that is to scale.
Your name again?
I'm sorry, Francisco Leal, resident of Imperial. So I just want to say that, this is not just a few residents complaining. Our petition has raised more than 2,000 signatures. I think we're about 2,300, and it keeps growing. It's still open. I have all of those names here. So please consider, help us. This is what we're asking. I'm not personally blaming any of you, but I'm asking you to be considerate of us, right, and do the right thing for us. Because, again, 2,300 people could make a big difference, on the next elections. And some of you, most of you, won by as tiniest margin, 111 votes, 130-something, and so on. So these 2,300, signatures exceed any of those margins for all of you.
Yes. Yeah. Go ahead. We're going to read a statement, okay? You can read it. Wait. Okay.
Okay. For the rest of you that are here, thank you. We do appreciate your comments. We sincerely do. So I'm going to go ahead and just read this statement, okay? So I know you're recording me. That's fine. While this board is not reviewing or taking action on the data center project today, we hear the community's concerns and the desire for more information, particularly regarding potential health, environmental, and water impacts. Transparency matters, and we want residents to have access to accurate facts. As a public agency, any studies, reports, or analysis we complete are public records. However, we recognize that it can sometimes be challenging to know where to locate that information. For that reason, I would like to direct staff to compile and share any existing or in-progress county studies related to this project and make them easily accessible to the public. This will help ensure our community has clear, factual information rather than relying on speculation. Thank
Happy
you.
to do that, Chair.
Thank
Okay.
you.
We're going to close the
Supervisor,
hearing.
for that to include email communications with developers, by staff, from the county. That's public.
I believe you could submit a Public Records Act for those communications.
Can we add it to your request?
I believe it has to go through the Public Records Act.
Oh, we'll do it.
Can we receive an update for the special meeting that we requested?
Excuse me?
We requested a special meeting. Can we receive an update when you guys discuss that and present the special meeting date to us?
I'll take direction from the board as to what we do in that regard. I don't think the board has made a decision to have a special meeting at this point.
Yeah, I know. Ms. Peggy told us that, but I'm just asking when that is decided, when that is discussed, that information reaches us.
It would be published and posted, yes.
Okay, we thank you, and we will close the public comment. Okay, thank you all for showing up.
Today to discuss those items listed in the closed session agenda on page 2 of the board's agenda for this meeting. The board met and discussed all items within that agenda. No final action was taken. Direction was given. This concludes my report.
Thank you.